Hello, guys. My name is Miki Wright. I'm a salon pricing strategist with BeautySuperstars.com, and I empower hairstylists to be able to charge what they're worth. And I'm your host for today, and I want to welcome you to Beauty Superstars Talk, which is your backstage pass to experts in beauty. So thank you so much for joining us. I don't know if you've heard about it or not, but the North American Hairstyling Awards, or NAHA, is one of the most prestigious awards in the hairstyling industry, if not the most prestigious. It recognizes the elite of the elite in not only hair design, but in artistry, creativity, line form, balance, and fully using hair as an art medium. To create a collection that's worthy of a nomination includes keen photography, makeup artistry to actually enhance the look, and a cohesive and absolutely captivating theme. So as you might imagine, there are only a small number of hair artists who make it to the ranks of a nomination. Think like making it to the NFL or NBA, and even fewer who win, and even fewer who are African American and win. I've actually had the pleasure to interview two of the three African American winners, and today all of that changes as I sit down with the very first African American winner of NAHA, which is Miss Shirley Gordon. So I'm excited that she is here. And before we chat with her, it's like I just want to share a little bit about the show. But each and every week, I have the privilege to interview Black beauty bosses who are doing amazing things in the beauty industry. We give voice to their stories and celebrate their excellence while they drop nuggets to help all of us become better beauty pros and better entrepreneurs as well. So more than a podcast, it's actually a movement to encourage Black excellence, entrepreneurship, to preserve our history, and to bring healing to our industry. So I want to thank our sponsor, which is the Black Beauty Expo, which is the hottest show for Black creative entrepreneurs in the hair, fashion, photography, modeling, and makeup industry. Their next show is Sunday, October 10th. It's in Richmond, Virginia. So be sure to follow them at theblackbeautyexpo.com or on Instagram at Black Beauty Expo. And you can keep up with the latest news for the show and actually special vendor packages as well. And in addition, I'm grateful to be the Global Education Director for the Black Beauty Expo. So if you are interested in educating, please let me know. And if you're here for the first time, welcome. And if you're coming back, welcome as well. We're glad to have you. And we usually have a monthly series. It's called Double Trouble for this month. And all of my guests over the next month are known for both their cutting and their coloring. And mastering either is no small feat. But we will sit down and break down what it takes to win in both of these areas over the next few weeks. And I guess you could say to say my guest today excels at cutting and coloring is like a huge understatement. So once you hear her bio, you will definitely understand why. So I'm going to share that, and then we are going to jump right in. So welcome, Shirley.
Hey.
Hey, I'm just going to share a little bit about you.
That sounds great.
We will get started. So Shirley G, as she's known, with over 38 years of experience, Shirley Gordon is an internationally recognized trend-setting force in the hair industry with decades of experience in coloring and styling. She is one of the most sought-after hairstylists and educators, the owner of Strands Hair Studio. And over the years, Shirley has had the pleasure of creating coiffures for celebrities, including Vanessa Williams, Shaka Khan, Venus and Serena Williams, and Diana Ross. In 2016, Shirley had the pleasure of styling Chloe and Halle, Beyonce's proteges, Nicole Ari Parker, and Robyn Thicke for the MTV Video Music Awards. Additionally, she was also chosen for the BET Honors and BET Awards 3 years consecutively. Currently, she is the top hairstylist for Robyn Dixon of Bravo's Real Housewives of Potomac. A most recent honor and highlight for Shirley was when she received a call from Beyonce's team. And we're going to talk about that. And Beyonce was preparing for a British Vogue magazine photo shoot and needed an expert colorist to color her wigs. Shirley is the expert she chose. When she is not dedicating her time to creating a range of designs at Strands, she is traveling the country, continuing her advanced training in hair trends, styles, and techniques. Formerly a top stylist with Wella, Shirley stays at the top of her game when it comes to elevating her craft. She has a long-standing history with Clairol as being one of the top consultants for the brand for 11 years, and she was instrumental in developing Clairol Professional's Texture and Tones hair care line for African American women. Shirley's trend-setting style has been featured in major hair and fashion publications such as Allure, American Salon, Essence, Estetica, InStyle, Hairdresser Journal, Modern Salon, The Colorist. Most recently, Vogue featured Shirley's talent in their November 2017 issue, and Basic Magazine did a 6-page feature on their Rebirth issue, Volume 16. Her work has also appeared in major ad campaigns for Clairol and Wella. She is the winner of NAHA 2008 Texture category, a 13-time finalist, and twice bronze winner for the Wella Trend Vision. In 2011, 2013, and 2017, Shirley was the North America Wella Trend Vision Gold Award winner and represented the USA in the Wella International Trend Vision Awards. This year, Shirley was the recipient of the L'Oreal Style Trophy Award. It is important to Shirley that she creates downtime. Shirley finds joy and comfort spending time with Tony, her husband of 30 years, her family and friends, traveling for leisure, and partaking in a favorite pastime, which is cooking. So, woohoo! What a career! So,
Yeah.
Congratulations on it all.
Thank you. It's been fun. It's been a great journey.
Yeah. Well, you're like feeling like you're just getting warmed up. So,
Oh, I definitely am just getting warmed up. I'm feeling like I just started.
okay. Yeah, we can't wait to see what's next. And full
I
disclosure,
can't either.
I know, right? So full disclosure, it's like we met many years ago when we worked together at the same salon, the Kelly Harem. And that was such an exciting time and just like bursting with talent from all aspects. And
yes, definitely.
Yeah, I want to talk about that. But it's like we worked together and we're both pretty young in the industry, but I still have no idea of like, how did you get started in the beauty industry?
Oh my God, that's a story within itself.
Okay.
So the saying, sometimes we don't know our own path that we're going to take. And I feel like my father saw my journey before I saw my journey. So I started because he laid down a brochure in front of me one day and he says, "Oh, you're going to hair school." I was like, "Oh, I thought I was going to be a fashion stylist." He was like, "Nope, you're going to hair school." I was like, "Okay, well, then I'm going to hair school." So that's how that started. And I went to a small little academy called Rockville Beauty Academy. He would take me every day. And sometimes he would pick me up. Sometimes Tony would pick me up. And that's pretty much how it started. And then he found Kelly Harem for me. So he was like a major part in this journey of hair. So he definitely saw my talent before I did. And my father was a builder, so he used his hands in multi-talented ways. And I think I got a lot of the creativity from him. So he found Kelly Harem for me, and I did an interview. And the next thing I knew, I was working at Kelly Harem. And 11 years later, I was opening up my own salon.
Wow. Well, that's quite a journey, and it's really interesting. Yeah. I always think it's interesting how we get into the industry. So
yeah, it was crazy. And he also found my salon, Strands, where I've been for the last 31 years.
Wow.
So he found that too.
Congratulations on owning it for that long. That's definitely.
Oh my God. That was nothing but Jesus, because I would have given up a long time ago.
Okay.
Because I was like, I can't do this.
Okay.
And then I turned around 3 years later and opened up Strands too.
So, okay, right.
There you go.
That's and here you are still doing it. So
yeah.
Yeah. So you definitely have a lot of that, like, never give up spirit. So
definitely.
You mentioned your dad, and and I know, 3 things I guess that really stand out to me, from our time working together, is, your sheer talent. You're definitely one of the most talented stylists that I've ever known.
Oh, thank you. That goes right back to you, because you were there, and I'm like, let me see what she's doing. Oh, she's really good.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. But your speed. It's like you work.
Oh yeah, I don't know about that speed thing. It's like every client that sits in my chair from the time I started doing hair and now, it's like, "Oh my God, you're so fast!" And I'm like, I don't know that I'm fast. I feel like I'm like taking forever.
Okay. Well, I'd say you're not. So
yeah, right.
And your clients, right? And it's like I was pretty fast, but usually I have like I don't know, 2 people to my 1 kind of thing.
Yeah.
But the other thing is like your work ethic. Some people, have talent or what have you, and they come into the industry and they're just like, oh, well, I'll kind of work when I want to. I'll show up. I'll do this. My clients will be blessed to be, if I appear today, that type of thing. Where does that work ethic come from? Because it's like you are on it.
Well, I'm going to have to go back to my parents again because I'm one of 12. If you guys didn't know that, I'm one of 12. I have 6 sisters and 5 brothers. My mama was inside the house, workaholic. She just acted like she never was tired. So it was like, okay, you guys got to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, but school doesn't start till 8. Why are we up so early? You have to have breakfast. You got to do this. You got to do that. So that was her. And she just was on her little thing with her 12 kids. And then my dad, he had multitudes of jobs. It was just like 8, 9 jobs, and he's always starting a business. So I think it just came from both of them on 2 different ends.
Right. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, tell us about your day. What is your kind of average, if there is such a thing, day look like?
Well, my average day now is different than what my average day was then. Mm-hmm. So back then I was like 2 assistants, and I go to work at 8:30 in the morning, Tuesday through Friday. Saturdays, I start at 5 a.m. Now I start at 5 a.m. every day.
Okay.
And I take my last client like around 3-ish. Back then, I was taking my last client at 7.
Okay.
Anywhere between 35 and 40 clients a day. Now I'm taking I tell everybody, all my clients, I'm like, okay, so God had a sense of humor with this COVID, because I don't think I would have ever stopped taking a 7 o'clock client. I don't think I would have ever stopped packing my book like a crazy woman and never saying no to anybody. So now I'm just like in and out, 5 a.m. every day. Mm-hmm. My last client's at 3. So I usually see about 14 to 18 people a day, maybe now.
Okay.
Sometimes 20, sometimes 20.
So that's a slow day. Okay.
Oh my God, it's so slow. Sometimes it's too slow for me. So I'm like, okay, where's the next person? This is a little crazy.
Yeah. Well, I think there's probably a lot of people whose mouths are sitting open right now. It's like, what?
Yeah. I'm a little nuts. I'm a little crazy. I mean, like people say, how come you didn't have any kids? You've been with your husband for so long. Strands is my kid. Like hair was my kid. It's like, this is what I eat and breathe.
Right. Yeah. So, it's like if we just look at, to me, what it takes to kind of be creative is some time and some space and that type of thing. Mm-hmm. And you have always been go, creativity at the highest. How do you feed that part of yourself?
How do I feed my creativity?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think I feed my creativity the most by just like on my downtime. I love like going to just different parts of town, the different areas, just to look at the culture, the arts. I love New York. So I'm always like looking at just the landscape of any city. Mm-hmm. And I'm always getting something out of it hair related. Like my husband will be walking and I'm like, that could make a really cool hairstyle. And it could just be a tree. And he was like, where are you going with that? I'm like, I think I'm going to do a shape like that for, NAHA or for texture category. Right. So I'm always like being inspired by that, and then magazine and other hairstylists' work. I'm a big one on education, so I pride myself in taking classes still today. Like if somebody's doing something that I don't know how to do, then I'm like, okay, let me see if they'll offer a class, or I'll jump into their class.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I feed and then sometimes just old movies feeds my creativity. Just looking at just the hairstyling from back in the day and trying to figure out a way how I can bring that forward to 2021.
Right. Yeah, that's really cool, because it's like I definitely caught some either TV shows or movies, and it's just like, wow, that hair was slamming. It's like
slamming, and everything goes around in a circle, Miki. So It's just like, oh, okay, so here we go, right back to the same thing we did back in the day.
Right.
Just a different little spin on it.
Exactly. And the styles definitely, as long as we've been around, have definitely almost come back around.
They sure have.
It's like, okay.
Yeah.
So tell us about NAHA. I shared a little bit about, what it is, but, why was it important for you to enter, and what was it that drew you to it?
So what drew me to NAHA was I think I just wanted to use my creativity in a different way than in the salon. And I was trying to figure out, after going to 20,000 shows and never missing a hair show, and going to Chicago show and New York show and Long Beach show and seeing all these people on the stage all the time. And I'm like, how can I get up there? Like, what am I supposed to do to get up there? And that's how I got introduced to the world of Wella, because I was standing on the sideline of the stage, and I was a big fan of Sonia and Christopher Dove. So I would always watch them. And I was standing there, and I said out loud to myself, one day I'm going to be up there. And I'm just talking to myself, not thinking anybody's listening. And then lo and behold, the guy that was standing behind me heard me, and he was like, and I want you up there too. And I was like, oh, I'm sorry, who are you? And he was like, I work for Wella. So that's pretty much how I started that journey. Then I did an interview, and I wanted to work for Sebastian, and he wanted me to work for Wella because he said Wella was above Sebastian and I needed to be at the top of the tier.
Okay.
So that's how I started that. But getting back to NAHA, I just always wanted to compete. And I felt like that was a really good competition to compete in that did not have any women or men of color competing. I was like, wow, this is a really prestigious award. And, we're holding it like the Oscars of hair, but none of us ever do it. And I didn't understand why. So I was like, oh, I'm going to try it. So I tried it first year. Not so well. Then the second year, I think that was when I was a finalist for the first time. And then 2008, I think I started in 2005. In 2008, I won for texture. And back then it was a little different. You entered multiple categories. And so I was a finalist in other categories, but I only won for texture that year. And then ever since then, I've just been a finalist. It's so hard to win.
Okay.
It's like, oh my God, can you guys give me another award, please? My goal is 3, and I still only have 1.
Okay. Got it. Yeah. So, but that was pretty quick that you won, in the scheme of things, from 2005 starting to 2008.
It was.
Yeah. Well, congratulations. It's like
Thank you.
Such a great honor, and definitely your craft speaks for itself, your artistry and everything that you've put out into the world. But what is it that kind of keeps you continuing to compete?
I just love it. Like, of course, everybody wants to win, but really what feeds me is just the fact that I can just create these different collections and all of them be different. Okay. And I don't have anything like stopping me from saying, nope, don't do that. Nope, don't do that, because it's me creating it. So, if I want somebody's hair to be, I think one collection I did for texture was different shapes and afros. And I just knew I was going to win that year. I was up for it as a finalist, and they just didn't call my name. I was like, are you joking? And then ever since then, the picture's been all over the place. But I'm like, but you didn't let me win, but you want to put my picture all over town.
Oh, okay. Is that one of the ones with the zipper?
Yes.
Yeah. That was definitely very memorable.
I love that collection so much. But NAHA is so tricky because it's, I think it's a lot of politics involved with NAHA. And you don't ever really want to think that, but it definitely is. And you just kind of have to keep trying. So I kind of took my feelings off and pushed them to the side and said, I'm just going to do this for me, because even if I'm a finalist, I'm still a winner.
Right.
It's so many people that compete, and just to make it there and being a finalist is great.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you described yourself as the Susan Lucci of.
Oh yeah, Susan Lucci. I said that on the red carpet the last time I was there. I was like, well, here we go, 13.
Okay.
I am the Susan Lucci of NAHA.
Okay.
It's official.
Okay, got it. So this year I was asked to be a part of the Masters, and that was something that I was wondering. Oh wow, I've done this forever. Like I met all the qualifications to be asked, but I've never was asked. You had to work for a company. You have to have won, I think, a couple times at NAHA. And that was it. So I'm like, okay, well, that's me. So nobody's ever asked me.
But, you know, with Black Lives Matters, I think I just got pushed in the right direction. And then they asked me this year passed. But it was COVID. So I was like torn. Do I do it? Do I not do it? I'm out of work for 3 months. And, you know, NAHA is super expensive. So I went for it. And it was a beautiful collection. And that's the collection that my work has been published in a couple other magazines. But I didn't make it to the finals.
Okay.
I was the top 10 from what I understood.
Okay.
And then I got next.
Well, congratulations on that.
Thanks.
Yeah.
But I'm going to get that master's one way or the other. Somehow.
Right. We have no doubt.
Yeah, I'm going to
keep.
So
is that something you're doing for 2022?
Well, I don't know. Well, I think I'm just going to let my NAHA because you know they did 2 NAHAs this year. So they have a NAHA that's about to come up in August, and then we're going to turn right around again and do it again in January.
Okay.
To get back on track. So I think I'm just going to do editorial because of the basic magazine spread. I'm just going to use those same images and see if I win for editorial.
Oh, okay. So you can use work that was.
And that way I don't have to do a shoot again.
Okay. Yeah. And any suggestions for anyone who might be thinking about it?
We stopped with do your homework.
Yeah.
For now. And when I say do your homework, look at all the categories and read up on them, study up on them, and look at the past winner and see who won. And then use your imagination and start creating from there. But really look at all 5 of the finalists and see the different things that they're looking for. Because they're in some way or form, they all kind of have a story. And then if you start there, then when you go to start storyboarding and really doing the actual creativity that you're going to do, then I think you'll come out a little bit better. Because I went in kind of blindsided when I first started NAHA, and I didn't really look and research NAHA or people's work. I just said, I'm just going to do my thing. But I think if you look at the work, and that's what I do now from year after year, I look at the winner, and then I kind of go from there.
Okay. Yeah.
But I always storyboard. I always and I always do like a mock-up on mannequins. So I'll do the whole, like if I'm doing the masters, then I do all 5 on a mannequin.
Oh, okay.
Before I put it on a person.
Pretty brilliant. Okay. Back to our basics.
Yeah. So then I use my camera. Take a picture of it, making sure the angles are good and trying to figure out the balance and if the texture is right. And then I just go for it after that.
So talk to us about storyboarding. What exactly is that? And, how does it work? And how does it help you?
Well, it helps. Storyboarding is basically just taking a bunch of magazines or images, and you're just putting it on a nice big whiteboard, and you're just tearing the magazines and finding different bits and pieces of your collection. So if you're doing a collection on vintage hair or something, then you want to go and you want to get magazines that show you different vintage or Google pictures, and then take those pictures and put them on your storyboard. So you have your makeup section, you have your hair, you have your fashion, and you have the way you want your photography to be lit. And all that's on the board. So then you see your vision come to light.
Yes. It's like, so you were telling us about the storyboard, and I know that you said, you've got your hair, your makeup, your photography, lighting, your fashion, kind of in different areas of your board. And so tell us, how you use that from there.
So from there, once I put that board together, that's like how I see everything in front of me. And this is where my whole collection begins. So I can, everything I picked and tore out, these are like images that I'm interested in creating hairstyles. This is where I want the fashion to go. This is where I want the different makeup looks. And then from that point on, I'll bring into the makeup artist and the photographer, and then we discuss the storyboard and what I'm trying to achieve. And then I'll show them the makeup parts, and I'll tell them the lighting that I want and the image and how I want it lit. And the rest is just on me with the hair.
Okay. Okay. So that's pretty cool with, kind of
Hmm.
pulling together your team. And you did say you work with someone for the fashion, or do you do?
Yeah, I always use a fashion stylist. I've been using the same team probably for the last maybe 11 years.
Wow. Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. Yeah. So everybody kind of gets from the board that you've put together, but is there like an additional synergy, I guess, that comes from having worked together for so long?
Oh, definitely. Because they
Okay.
know me now. They know me. The first NAHA that um, I did it in Toronto. Wait a minute. No, that was probably like the fifth. This is when I introduced, Babak.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I was dying to shoot with Babak. I'm like, oh, I got to shoot with Babak. Maybe he could help me win. I don't know.
Uh-huh.
So I went to Toronto and I met with him, and it was just me. And I had 3 models that we chose in Toronto.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, "Where's your team?" And I was like, "I don't have a team." But if you got to know Babak, he's funny and he's a great guy. But personality wise, he would scare the crap out of you if you are
Okay.
just new at NAHA, because he's just like, "Where's your team?" Okay, well, this is going to be a mess. You don't have a team. Why don't you have a team? And I'm like, because I'm going to be fine by myself. I mean, can we just make sure that you're going to be on time? Because I guarantee you I'm going to be done before you figure out this whole lighting thing.
Uh-huh.
So he's used to seeing these hairstylists, these big name hairstylists come in with like 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 people. And, they're doing very little work and the team is doing all the work.
Uh-huh.
But I did everything and I was sitting there for an hour like, okay, still waiting for you. Is the lighting ready? Are we ready to go yet? So he was super impressed. And I used him for probably about maybe 6 or 7 times. And then I went on with the other guy in New York.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. He hadn't met Shirley Gordon yet, right?
Right, right. It's like, and he never forgets that either. He was like, yeah, and I was just like, where's your team? And you just did circles around me. I was like, yeah, I did.
Yeah, for anyone watching, it's like Babak is a famous beauty photographer and does,
Yes.
yeah, phenomenal work. And so,
He's a
yeah,
character. He's a character, but I love him.
okay. Yeah, so the storyboard I think is so, such a fabulous idea because it's like we feel like, you're creative and you've got these ideas and why do I need to put it in a board form?
Right.
And it's like taking that creativity like to the next level of being
Yeah,
prepared for it.
definitely. And
Yeah.
it's like anything, you have to have you have to like build up on it. So if
Mhm.
this is new to you, you don't want to go and attack models that's going to cost tons of money for you to enter a competition that you've never done any type of practice, or you didn't have a whole, what am I trying to say? You didn't have it all planned out
Mhm.
to get to the highest level. So you
Oh,
have to make sure you take your time planning it out. And if you have a team, then that's good too, because then you can assign different people to do different things.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, but I think like what you said with a plan is like key. And a lot
Yeah.
of us are so creative that we forget the planning part or don't want to do the planning part.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So I think that's another key to getting to the top. So with competition, I know you've done super well with Trend Vision, with Wella, with like, I don't
Hmm.
know, umpteen different awards
Yeah.
from that. Why compete, and why compete on that level and continue
You
that?
know, with the Trend Vision, it was just like, okay. I mean, I was a top stylist. They never said that their top stylist couldn't compete. So I was just like, okay, well, I'm going to enter in this competition too.
Mhm,
And I think with me, I think it was like, why can't this brown girl do it? Like
mhm,
you look in your eyes and you see everybody competing that's not your nationality. So you're just like, well, what about African American women? Like, how come nobody ever enters this?
mhm.
So, I went for it and I won 3 times gold.
Yeah, awesome. Well,
Yeah.
congratulations. And what is the answer to that? Like, how do we encourage more brown girls, black girls to think? It's like, okay, why shouldn't I do this?
Right.
Let's go, let's explore, let's, try it out.
I think the answer to that is just believing in yourself. Know your worth. Know like what it is that you want to do, and don't let color or don't let it scare you. Just go for it. Like, because I always look at hair as being hair. So it's like, I don't look at the skin color. I'm like, okay, she's not black, so I don't want to do her. No, I look at her hair because hair comes in so many different textures. And I think if you have the knowledge of the textures of hair, then you can do anything in anybody. So I just think that a lot of Black women look at Wella as a Caucasian brand, not a Caucasian brand. It's just like, yeah, it's all like for Caucasian women, not for African American women.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then Wella has done a lot, for hair color and for, I think, pushing the ball forward in terms of making more access for Black salons and that type of thing. It's
Definitely.
What's your experience been in terms of having worked with them?
I mean, it's been great. Like, being a top educator, it was fun. Is that my platform with Wella? No, we're still trying to figure that out right now.
Okay.
Like, how can you utilize Shirley Gordon in a different way? Like, I love taking classes and even sharing my knowledge, but I don't love the part where you have to do it so strictly by the book.
Okay.
I don't like to, I feel like I'm a educator that's just carefree, and it's like, I just want to have a little bit more fun with it, and not so like, oh, don't forget this, don't forget that, you got to say these words, you got to make sure you say this. And I'm just not that type of educator. And I think that's where Wella kind of lost me a little bit. So now we're trying to figure out, like, how can I come back to Wella and be utilized in a different way.
Yeah. Well, I
would like to do more of the trendier styles too, along with education. But education now is on like computer and everything, so that would be better for me, because maybe I will feel like I'm not being told like to go into this salon and teach this way, and you have to make sure you say these words, and you have to make sure you do this. And
right. Yeah. Well, I definitely hope that you guys can figure that out, because I think it will be powerful for the industry.
Yeah, definitely.
Whatever you come up with, because it's like there definitely has been a huge explosion of hair colorists, Black hair colorists, and it's really, really exciting to see, just the level of competency, the level of diversity, creativity, and maintaining health of the hair, which we know is more challenging.
It's so challenging. It's so important and so challenging.
Right. Yeah, and so I'm super impressed with a lot of the color that I'm seeing. It's like, we're doing great things, but it's like there's always that next level of how do we level up, how do we elevate to take everything to the next level, and create, like you say, kind of these platforms where we can help to bring the next generation forward. So
exactly, because you don't want it to be a repeat cycle. You want the next generation. My perfect educational class would be talking to the next generation and letting them know, don't be fearful. Step out your comfort zone and do these things that you see all these other stylists up there on the stage doing. You can do it too. But you got to have the right mindset for it, and you have to make sure that this is what you want. And if it's what you want, then you just go for it.
Yeah. And it's like I like what you're saying as far as just the mindset piece and the confidence piece, because I think that's something that I'm definitely seeing is like really, really standing out to me, that it's like we are so lacking confidence in terms of setting boundaries, in terms of our pricing, in terms of what we'll do and not do, in terms of services. Any suggestions from your vantage point of how we help the next generation or help the current generation?
I mean, with And, it's like when I was at Kelly Harem, of course, I worked for Miss Kelly. So, I didn't have to worry about pricing, and, you could hide that way forever because it's like, oh, somebody else, I'm not setting this price. So it is scary when you go to tell somebody their ticket and they're like, what? Why
Right.
am I being charged so much? So it
Right.
was easier back then. But then when you start working for yourself, you have to know what you're worth. And you can't let anybody tell you that you're not worth what you know you're worth. And because I know my history with hair and what I do to keep my clients current with the current trends and the great shampoos and conditioners and the best color and, making sure that I take all the proper steps to keep their hair healthy, I know what I'm worth. So without a doubt, 100%, I'm never afraid to tell them what my price is. And I just think you just have to be confident and know what you're worth, but make sure you back it up with the skill set.
Right. Yeah. Education, like you say, good product, great customer experience, all of those things. Yeah. Well, let's talk about Beyonce.
Ooh, my girl B.
Okay.
My girl B.
So what was that like?
Oh my God. It was just amazing. First, I thought I was being punked. So I was like, okay. So here I am at work, finally back at work. And I'm like, this is like really bad. Like, you had to book one client at a time. You had to go out to let the other client in. And it was really stressful. Like to be a salon owner and know that somebody took your talent away from you just like that. Like the first time in my whole career was I told, oh no, you can't work because there are not going to be any clients because everybody's on shutdown.
Right.
So it was really scary. And then when I finally got back, constantly praying every day, constantly just asking God, to show me the direction and the path I'm supposed to take. Do I keep strands? Do I not? Do I let strands go? If I let strands go, what do I do? Is this time for me to move on to the next chapter with hair? Because I definitely wanted to, do more with celebrity styling. So I was like, okay, well, maybe this is the time for me to go to LA. I didn't know. I was so confused. I had so many mixed signals. So I was just like, okay, I'm just going to leave it to God and I'm just going to keep praying about it. So I'm in the salon one Thursday, and since COVID, I've been making appointments through my cell phone. So I don't go up to the desk every second to check my cell phone. So that day I was like, it was like 8:00 in the morning. And I'm like, oh, let me check my phone and see if my client's on time. And then I see a message from Beyonce's people saying, hey, can you get to the Hamptons? And I'm like, can I get to the Hamptons? She was like, call me right now. I need you to get to the Hamptons to do Beyonce's color. They booked me to do Beyonce's hair because she'd been in the Hamptons for the whole time of COVID. She had a lot of new growth and she needed her roots done. I was super excited. I was like, oh my God, I get to do Beyonce's hair. This is great. So they say, bring all the blondes that you have. She's, just bring everything that you have because she's known to change her mind. But I do know that, she has dark roots and she wants the roots done. So I'm packing up all this stuff and I'm just about there, trying to get out of the salon. And probably I was in New York for a couple hours. They took me up by train. Everything was kind of backwards because I'm like, it's 8:00. All you had to do was sit in the car for me to go to the Hamptons, and I could have been there on time. But time got away from me. I had to get COVID tests, and then that took hours for them to find somebody to test me. And then she was tired. So then I get the call, oh, Beyonce's tired. You're not going to be coloring her hair tonight. And I'm like, oh. But she does want you to color some wigs that, the stylist, she realized at the last minute does not color at all. And some of the wigs that he bought, she does not like the color.
Oh, okay.
Like, thinking in the back of my mind, well, that's why I packed half of my salon up to come to do Beyonce, because I was not going to be set up with a job with, doing Beyonce and then not have the right color. So I took like level 6 all the way up to level 12 special blondes. I took bleach. I took every developer that I had. So I had everything. So luckily, because if you work with wigs, it's a whole different beast. Yeah. So it's like, okay, did I bring the right stuff to even get the wigs to move? Because I might not have it. And one was jet black and she wanted the chocolate brown. So I'm like, they're not my wigs. I don't know the hair. So I
Right.
say all this just to say, when you get this opportunity, you have to really think like, okay, she's calling me to do one thing, but never just bring that. Just always bring your whole set, everything that you would use on, like if you were doing somebody's hair on set.
Like
And
your whole salon, right?
yeah. Yeah. So if I knew wigs were involved, then I would have bought my wigs. But I'm not one to, I know I was invited to be a part of this at the last minute because he didn't color.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a stylist already on set. So I wouldn't have bought my wigs probably even if when I got there, I probably wouldn't have pulled them out because I don't like to disrespect any stylist that's there to do their part.
Right.
So, he was really great, and he was a little nervous. He was just like, "Oh my God, please tell me you can color these wigs." I'm like, "Oh, you're not going to put this pressure on me. This is not my doing. You probably should have said you didn't color."
Okay.
But it was great. Yeah, it turned out really great. It was fun.
Okay. Wow. So
She's amazing. She's everything I thought she would be and more.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Because I know everybody wants to know, right?
Oh my gosh, she's everything I thought she would be and more. She's a true delight.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And like, her mom's hairdresser, so it's like I'm sure she's probably been in the chair from birth, basically.
Yeah. It was so funny because she was so cute because finally, the day of the shoot, I'm thinking I'm going to roll out. I'm leaving, because they booked me to come up. But, they never said I was staying. They were just like, you're going to do this and then you could go.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I was thinking I'm about to leave and I'm like, he's like, oh, no, you can't go anywhere. But she's known to change her mind. She might not like one of the wig colors and she'll have you coloring the wigs while she's starting the shoot. I'm like, oh, okay. Well, then let me get on the phone and cancel my clients for today then. I thought I was going back.
Okay.
So I wasn't prepared. I didn't have anything. I had the same clothes on the next day. And, it was really like an aha moment because I'm standing here in this trailer like, I'm in the trailer with Beyonce.
Okay.
And I've only spoke this into existence since, gosh, probably since she hit the stage.
Okay.
And like, I want to work with her. And I think I used to say Oprah.
Mm-hmm.
But I was dying to work with Beyonce. I mean, like dying. And I'm still dying because I really don't feel like I got my real chance. I think I just got a little bit of wetness on my feet, but I didn't get the whole thing.
Okay. Got it. More to
Yeah,
come.
but it was good.
Yeah, more to come.
More to come.
And so you did everything from the States, so you didn't go over to the UK for the shoot?
No, the shoot was actually in the Hamptons.
Okay.
So we were all up there together. It was quite a production. I had to get COVID tested before I went. I had to get COVID tested once I got to her property. And then the next morning we had to get retested again.
Okay.
And I think I started coloring the wigs at 8 p.m. and I didn't finish until 5:30 in the morning.
Wow. Okay.
And there was 4 wigs and we were supposed to be on set at 6:30
a.m.
Okay. So I brushed my teeth and I went and I followed everybody else.
Okay.
And then I sat in the trailer and then I'm like, oh my God. So how do I say, hi to her? Like, what do I call her? I don't even know.
Okay.
So everybody was calling her Miss B. So I was like, okay, well then Miss B it is.
Okay.
And she was just such a delight. It's like she just came in the trailer like I was sitting in the living room talking to my sisters. It was like no big deal.
Right.
And it was like she had a great sense of humor. She was ready. She was just like, and then finally she was just like, she looked at the fashion stylist who told her about me, and she was just like, "Oh, Z, where's Shirley?" And then she was like, "Oh, Shirley, baby, thank you so much for coming up to help me." And she had this great little cute accent, and she was just a doll.
Okay.
Yeah, it was just like an aha moment.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And did you get to work with like Edward Enninful, the editor for British Vogue, or any of?
He was there. He was outside. Yeah, he was on the actual set when we went out. Every time she would go out to do, her different sets. he was out there.
Yeah. It's like I
Mhm.
love, the creative direction he's taken with the magazine. I think it's
Oh yeah, he's
incredible.
going for it. Yeah, he's not playing around.
Okay.
He is
Yeah.
not playing around.
Yeah. It's like he's definitely like taking it to that next level.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So congratulations with Beyonce. That's
Yeah,
like the dream come
thanks.
true category. And to take it more on a personal note, it's like you have had this incredible career, where you've traveled and been in the salon cranking, like seriously cranking, and
Mhm.
and all of that. And I know, your family is really important to you. It's like, and I wanted to say too, it's like you had asked me to do your hair for your wedding, which was such
Yes,
a honor.
yes.
And we did, I guess not a big chop, but at least a chop,
We did a chop. Yep, we did a chop.
Yeah, so thank you for that. And you and Tony have been together for, is it 30 years?
We're coming up on 31 years of marriage, but we've been together since we were 16 and 17.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's fabulous. And what
Yeah.
is that meant, your relationship meant to your career and, giving you the space or whatever to do the things that you do?
Well, I think what was good about us meeting so young is like he was a part of my journey. So it was like
Mhm.
he watched me go to beauty school at Rockville Beauty Academy. He would pick me up sometimes from Rockville Beauty Academy. I gave him facials. He
Okay.
was my person that I did manicures on. I gave him head massages and all the stuff that they had me doing in the beauty school. Like he was a model sometimes for me.
Right.
And I think um he knew that I was going to do big things because I was so persistent in making sure that I did everything right.
Mm.
And even dating him, it was like, oh no, hair comes first. Hair always comes first.
Uh-oh. Yeah, that's
But
awesome.
he was great. He was like a big part, like through Strands, both of the salons, he did all of the financing part of Strands. Like I never had to do any of that.
Nice. Great partnership.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And what about your family? I know, like you said, you're one of 12. So it's a big
I'm one
part.
of 12 and my family, I mean, I think a lot of them already knew like where I was headed with hair.
Hmm.
And especially my mom, she'll tell a story about me always playing with the baby doll and taking the baby doll's hair and cutting it up and saying, no, this is not how I want it. And she tells clients today, she comes in every Friday and she'll sit beside somebody and she tells that same story. And I'm like, Mom, can we like stop telling that story? Because it changes a lot. Every time you tell somebody, the story gets a little bit longer. And I don't think
Okay.
to deal with that. But she said my mother always knew I was going to be a hairstylist as my father, but
Mhm.
I think my father was really pushing me because, like I said, he saw something in me that I didn't quite see in myself because I really wanted to be a fashion designer,
Mhm.
and I had that in my mind. I wanted to go to school in New York, and I remember showing him the brochure, and he saw the pricing, and he was just like, "Oh hell, girl, you're not gonna go to that school. That's too much money." I'm like, oh, okay. Well, then what am I supposed to do? And he was like, you're going to go to this beauty academy that I found. And I'm like, okay. And the rest is history, I'm like, okay, well, then that's where I'll go. And then I knew with hair, the journey that I wanted to take, I'm like, okay, well, fashion will play into that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And you started at Kelly Harem. That was, I guess,
Hmm.
my second salon. But what did that environment do for you and your career?
Oh, like I tell Miss Kelly all the time, like the 11 years that I was there, I just like always watched. And Miki, I wasn't the most chatty person in the world. I was super quiet. And I think Miss Kelly called me in the back a couple of times telling me that I had to talk to the clients. And I was like, why? Why do I have to do that? I thought I'm just here to do their hair. I say hi and I say, how are you doing? What else do you want me to say? But being one of 12, I think it kind of made me, I'm the fifth child born. So, you have, what was that? I'm the fifth one. You have 4 older and then 7 younger. And you're like stuck in the middle. So it's like, do I use my voice now or do I not use my voice? I don't know.
Mhm.
So it was kind of like weird, but I was always good at just like watching people and looking and just learning. And that's kind of how I went about my journey with hair. Like I would always just watch and see what people were doing. Like I was always fascinated by your work. And I was like, oh, okay, I'm going to get there one day. I know I am. I'm going to do it. And then I just watched a lot of people that came and went from Kelly Hair. I'm like Michaelin, and then there was this girl named Linda that was great. And I just watched them, and I was quiet. Miss Kelly herself, she was great. She worked across from me. Right. I was just like, oh wow, I'm going to be right across from you. Well, this is scary.
Right.
This is really scary. Now you're really keeping your eyes on me. But I think she just taught me. I just loved the way that she operated her salon, and I just loved the way that she believed in me, because she didn't have to hire me. I was right out of beauty school. Oh, and my dad found her too. My dad found Kelly Hair because my father had millions of jobs, and he did the parking lot, the snow removal from the shopping center where the Kelly Hair was, both locations.
Okay.
So he told her he went in there one Saturday and he said, my daughter, and this is coming out of Miss Kelly's mouth. These are her words. He's like, doesn't look like it's that busy in here. And she was like, oh no, we're busy, sir. We're busy. We're just a little slow today. He's like, well, my daughter's about to graduate beauty school and I think she can get things moving in here. So you probably should just go and give her an interview. And I'm like, he said that to you like that? She said, yeah. And I was just like, okay, bring her in. So then the next Saturday I went with my sister Linda, was my model. She had long hair and I cut it off really short. And she hired me on the spot. But I didn't have my license yet, but I was working on it. So I went to the state board. I passed one part, didn't pass the other part. And then I went back probably a couple months later and I finally passed.
Wow. Well, that's definitely quite a story.
It was crazy. But she took a gamble on me and, I think she was happy.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, it's like it was such a great environment,
Yeah.
With so much talent and so much everybody had the drive, everybody had the work ethic and
it was a great place to start.
Yeah, the excitement about the industry, and then like you said, you ran a great salon, and so it was a really good environment to work in.
Yeah. And I would definitely tell any young stylist today, like, I'm a firm believer that a young stylist coming out of beauty school should really go into a salon that has a system in place like that. Everybody wants to go and get their salon suites right out of beauty school. And I just think it's a bad idea. I really do. I just think it's a bad idea for new stylists out of beauty school to just go and get a suite. Because who's going to push you? Who's going to motivate you? Who's going to do all the things that, that you need? You don't have anybody to watch. You're just in your four walls and you're just doing what you think is good.
Right.
But is it really good? I mean, that's the problem with a lot of our stylists today. I think they're so busy tooting their own horn and they don't go for more education.
Yeah. I agree with you. So there's so much to be learned. And it's like I saw a post actually from Yanae Demtu, who's huge in the industry, but she was talking about being a salon owner, and the pictures of her are her like helping doing the laundry and doing the stuff that needs to be done. And for years I asked, groups of people I spoke to, it's like, how many of you guys want to be an assistant? And it's like, I don't want to be an assistant.
They don't want to be an assistant.
Then how many of you guys want to own a salon? It's like all the hands go flying up.
Oh, yeah, they all go up. Every assistant I had, they wanted to be me instantly.
Right.
And as the years creeped on, it was just like, okay, this is not going to work. Like, if you're coming here to be an assistant, you're going to be an assistant. Like, you tell them everything from the jump, and then they still don't get it. And then when you see, okay, did you think I was joking when I told you that I had this many clients? Like, it's only week one and you're huffing and puffing. Like, what's going on? But I just think that, I definitely think that they should really work in a salon for a couple of years before they go out on their own.
Yeah, definitely. I think a lot of the same things that you'll do as an assistant are the same things you'll do as an owner.
Yeah. The exact same thing. So
Start
I
there.
give Miss Kelly all the praise for making sure that I had all the proper equipment to move forward to
Right.
open up Strands, because when I opened up, I felt a lot better knowing that, I was going to be in charge of my own destiny, and I wasn't going to rely on stylists to pay my rent. I was going to make sure that I was working hard enough to make sure that everything was going to get covered.
Mm-hmm.
But stylists come and go. You can't.
Right.
They don't stay.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, definitely making sure you can cover the bases yourself.
Yeah.
That's a good way to start.
Yeah.
For sure. And grow from there if you want.
Yeah, grow from there if you want, but just always be a part of your own salon, because it's your name, it's your salon.
Mm-hmm.
Be a part of it,
Yeah. So any success secrets other than that for salon owners and salon ownership?
Oh gosh, I don't know. I probably missed the boat on a lot of it, but I mean, I definitely I had Columbia for how many years? Gosh, I think I had Columbia for about 20 years, maybe.
Oh wow. Okay.
Maybe like 18 years. And then I had Strands, and I still have Strands, and the first Strands for 31. One was booth rental, one was commission.
Okay.
The commission salon was really good. I had the same group ever since I opened. And then, it got burnt out. I just wanted to get rid of it. So I decided to sell it.
Okay.
But my sister Charlie started with me as my assistant, and then 3 years after working with me, I opened up Strands too, and I moved her up there.
Yeah. Yeah.
My eyes and ears, and she was, the on-site manager. Of course, I was the manager, but she was on site, and
Right.
I was doing both salons. So I would work at Wheaton all week, and then Saturday and Sunday and Monday, I would leave Wheaton and go to Columbia. So I worked in Columbia Saturday afternoons, all day Sunday, all day Monday. And I did that for 7 years.
Wow. That's a lot of hair.
It was a lot of hair. A lot of hair. But it was fun. Like today, I'm like, oh, it's so much fun. I just miss it whenever I'm not doing it.
Right, right. Yeah, well, that's a good place to be. That's a really good place to be. And you have your wig line, you have your Real Housewives, roll with that. And, it's like there's so many different parts of your life. So what's next for Shirley, and what's kind of on the front burner?
Oh, well, on the front burner is probably going to be getting my YouTube and stuff all together, and really like doing education my way. Yeah, just really like showing and getting that platform out there for a stylist to really know how to have the proper foundation to create the proper hairstyle.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think YouTube can be good and it could be not good. And I think you have a lot of stylists that are just like going online and just thinking that they can do everything without starting with the proper foundation, so that everything won't fall down and look crazy.
Right, right.
So I want to work on that, and probably, I'll probably jump back with Wella in some capacity, and maybe just do some more celebrity hair and just wait for Beyonce to tell me, oh, you can end your career in LA with me.
Okay. All right.
I do always want to do like some movies, some film work. So hopefully I can do some hair for that and just work on something like that eventually.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. This will, I think this will actually air afterwards, but it's like I'm actually getting to sit down with the hairstylist for the movie Respect, who did the gentleman who was the director.
Oh, nice. Nice.
Yeah, it should be so much fun. And it's like just, the looks and all are just incredible, impeccable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're going to have Kaya?
No, it's Lawrence Davis. Lawrence Davis, and he is the hair director head. So
the head style, okay,
of the movie, and so he brought all the team in and everything, and
cool.
Looks like a lot of Jennifer's actual look. So
yeah.
So excited about that, and Yeah, that whole world is a whole nother world, you know.
It's a whole different beast. I remember when I took a film class for a week in LA, and
Mhm.
I was just like, wow, this is like, but whenever I looked at film after that, it was like I got it. It was just like, wow, the continuity's off. Wow, this is the same date, but the part's on the wrong side.
Right.
Like, you pay attention to all that after taking a film class, and I was like, wow, this is really cool. And it
Okay.
was so crazy because when I took that class, and I forgot the lady's name, but she was big on doing a lot of movies in LA.
Uh-huh.
And probably 2 weeks after I left her class, she called me to be an understudy for the Pirates of the Caribbean.
Oh, okay.
So and that movie took off. So I wish I was ready, but I just wasn't ready to step away from the salon because I needed to be gone
Right.
for 4 months, I think she said.
To be
And
real.
I was like, whoa, I don't think I could do that.
I missed what you said. You said you had to be away
For 4 months.
4 months. Okay.
4 months,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I was still like stuck to the salon, like, no way am I gonna leave my clients that long.
Right, right. Yeah. It's like you definitely have to, sometimes make some
Yeah.
choices. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a different beast. It's a different beast. But now, I would definitely do it. If somebody gave me the opportunity, I would definitely do
Right.
it.
Right. Yeah. It's like I just watched Ralph Ochoa. He's the hair department head on several movies and stuff, and he's just getting packed up to leave for like 5 months.
Yeah.
And it's like, wow. Even the pack, even
Yeah,
the packing itself is like, okay.
I know. That's a lot.
Insane. Yeah. So definitely different lifestyle. So,
Mhm.
it's like we'll start to wrap everything up, but what would you say is like the best advice you received?
Oh, best advice that I've received in my career would probably be, it's so many different things that I would probably think, but I would probably have to say that it's just be yourself and know who you are. Like, be the person that you are and let that shine through your work.
Powerful.
Because, you have so many stylists that really don't know
Mm-hmm.
what type of stylist they are or who they are. So it's kind of hard to help anybody else with beauty because you're a lot of things when you become a hairstylist. You're not just a hairstylist if you
Talk
don't know who you are.
about that.
So yeah. So I feel like if you know who you are and know where you're going,
Mm-hmm.
I think the outcome would be a lot better.
Yeah, yeah. Talk to us just a little bit about the roles that the hairstylist plays in your experience.
Oh yeah, we play a lot. We play a lot of roles. We play a psychiatrist. So well, we play that every day. We have to be jolly. We have to be like, it's almost like we're an actress because we have to know when to turn it on. Like, as soon as we come in the door, we can't have a problem at home. We can't like look like something's wrong with us because then it's like Shirley's mad. Shirley's not nice today. Shirley's this. Shirley's that. I'm like, okay, all right, great. What about you? I'm just joking. But you play so many different parts. Like, because your client sits in your chair and they look for you for not just hair advice, for life advice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah.
For life advice. And it's been great. Like, I could probably write a book on some of the things that's happened at Strands that you just don't believe that's really happening in a salon. And it's like somebody would say, you're not telling the truth. And I'm like, oh, but I am. I promise you this happened in my salon. I promise you.
Absolutely. We probably all could write an interesting book for sure.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
It is crazy, but yeah, but I love what I do, and I love my clients. I've loved this area because it's really blessed me in so many ways of
Hmm.
just constantly, seeing new people. And through COVID, it was the new clients that got me through. So, I'm grateful. I'm
Yeah,
super grateful.
yeah. And trends, any trends we should be on the lookout for?
Oh, yeah. The trends, I mean, I think if I had to look at one trend that I feel like is like taking off, then I'm going to say it's probably like the whole Farrah Fawcett vibe coming back.
Hmm.
That whole feathery, bouncy, flowy hair is like coming back strong.
Yeah, yeah.
And you see that whole shaggy look playing a part. Just really kind of like hair that's messy, but not,
Hmm.
with a lot of texture.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. It's like I'm kind of like in the femininity of all of that
Yes.
look. Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. It's got a
Yeah,
nice.
I love it. I love it. And I think short hair is always going to be a trend because I think that's just here to stay. I think I embrace short hair. I embrace all types of hair, really. I mean, I there's no type of hair that I won't do.
Right.
Do I love doing all types? Like, am I like, would I really love if somebody came to me and said they want a Jerry curl? Probably not, but I would still do it. I would still do it.
Uh-huh. Right. And that may be another evolution of the natural hair going into something else. So
Exactly. Exactly.
yeah.
Yeah, the natural hair movement is great. Like, I'm all for natural hair because for me as a colorist, that's the best canvas to paint on.
Hmm.
Natural hair. Can I paint on relaxed hair? Of course. I can
Right.
paint on relaxed hair, but you have to remember when you're painting on relaxed hair, then it's, you got to think about, am I going to treat it like it's natural hair? No, you're going to treat it completely differently. And
Right.
I've had some great success stories with coloring blondes on relaxed hair.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I mean, your color work is exceptional, cutting exceptional. So we're glad to have you here as part of our Double Trouble month and appreciate you sharing everything. And how can we follow you? How do we stay in touch? I'm gonna,
I'm on all social media. Shirley G. Halt Hair is my Instagram.
okay.
And you can go to my website at strandstudios.com.
Okay. Awesome.
And right now, all of my clients are making appointments through my cell phone, which you can get off of my website.
Okay. Very cool. Very cool. So I am so glad that we got to have this conversation. And
Yeah.
yeah, it's like the wisdom and the just the over the top creativity and all of that. It's like I just appreciate everything that you brought to the industry and can't wait to see what's next because I know there's so much more to come. And especially as you talk about doing the education, I think that's going to be like off the chain. So yeah, yeah. So continue.
It's needed. So I'm ready. I'm ready to do it.
Okay. So jump on out there and we'll be looking out for you and following you and all of that kind of good stuff. And yeah, this has been good.
Well, thank you, Miki. It was my pleasure.
Yes, yes. Well, thank you everybody for being here. I really hope that you like that let some of this sink in and wash over you because it's like such powerful, such amazing advice and experiences that Shirley's had that really can elevate our whole careers in a whole different direction. So I want to thank you guys, whether you're watching us, on YouTube, be sure to subscribe so you don't miss anything from there. It's like if you've missed any of the previous shows, there's about 60 or so interviews. Beauty Superstars Talk. You can catch it on beautysuperstars.com/podcast. And you can also sign up there and we'll make sure that you know about each of the interviews that we're doing. If you'd like to partner with us with Beauty Superstars Talk, you can visit beautysuperstars.com as well and click the red button. And if you are scared to raise your prices, I get it. You might fear that you're going to lose all your clients. They're all going to leave. And I really want you to know that you can raise your prices without fear and guilt. And you can also keep your clients. And so I'm doing a free webinar that is coming up August 23rd. So be sure and sign up. It is at beautysuperstars.com/level up. And it is level up and charge what you're worth. And so I want to help you with that. And it's going to show you some things like Shirley was talking about, how to attract those ideal clients and increase your income. So look forward to seeing you guys there. And we'll have them hopefully just ongoing, because I just feel like there's such a need in the industry to share some of that info. And again, want to thank our sponsor, Black Beauty Expo, and be sure to follow them on Instagram at Black Beauty Expo or at their website, blackbeautyexpo.com. So I want to thank you guys again, and I will see you next time. So keep it beautiful. Take good care. Bye-bye.
Bye.